What's going on, guys? Austin Zaback here with another video, and if you're brand new to my channel, I'm typically talking about business, finance, and real estate, and today we're going to be talking about how to invest $1,000 in 2021. And I know you could probably take your $1,000 and just invest it into Bitcoin, and who knows how much money that would be worth in the future, okay? Depends on who you ask, I suppose. But in today's video, we're going to be talking about it a little bit differently, because I'm not entirely sure that investing your only $1,000 into Bitcoin is the right answer. And at the end of the day, I'm not entirely sure that anybody knows what Bitcoin is going to do in the future. First and foremost, let's just go ahead and break down the different types of scenarios that you might be in right now. The first scenario is that you have exactly $1,000 and you want to make money with that money. The second scenario is you have $1,000 to invest right now, which means you have some other money and you just want to grow that investment over time. And the third scenario is that you have all of your expenses covered, you have your emergency fund set aside, you've got a little bit of savings set aside, you have $1,000 you want to invest right now, immediately, and you want to make money right away. What I would do first is I would really figure out what scenario you're in so you can really understand the goal, and then you'll be able to understand exactly what we're about to talk about right now. So we're just going to go ahead and hop into it without further ado. If you wouldn't mind just real quick, just taking a quick second and just smashing that like button for the YouTube algorithm, it would mean the world to me. So we're just going to go ahead and talk about the first scenario really quick, and that is that you only have $1,000 to your name and you're looking to invest it. So chances are, if you only have $1,000 and you really haven't thought a lot about having an emergency fund or having a savings account, and you really don't have any like additional side hustles or additional streams of income, then what I would really recommend that you do is you take a step back and you just think about what I'm about to say. Because ideally, you want to wait till you're in the second or the third scenario to really invest all of that money, because, you know, investing at the end of the day always carries a risk. And you know, if you only have $1,000, you really don't want to risk all of your money, right? Because if you lose it all, then that's probably not going to be good for you. So what I would really recommend that you do, if you only have $1,000, and I tell this to everybody, okay? I have a lot of people that are younger that come to me for advice on Instagram, on YouTube, on TikTok, and I always tell them, I say, look, if you're brand new to investing and you don't have a lot of money, the first thing that I would always invest in, and I know it sounds super cliche, okay? I get it, but just hear me out, okay? And make sure you stay to the end of the video. I would always invest in yourself first. Investing in yourself is so crucial, right? You obviously see these books sitting next to me. What you don't see are the thousands of books that I've read in my life. Okay, maybe not thousands, but definitely hundreds and hundreds of books that I've read in my life. You know, seminars I've been to, coaches and mentors, and just all sorts of different stuff, knowledge and wisdom that I've consumed in my life so far. And the reason that I'm able to do what I do every day is because I've consumed that knowledge and wisdom, and I now have that to leverage to my advantage. My mentor told me a long time ago, he said, Austin, he said, you know, in life, somebody can rip away all of your material possessions. They can take away all of your money. They can take away your house, your car, your clothes, your food, everything like that. But they can't take away your knowledge. They can't take away your wisdom. And they certainly can't take away your experiences. So the beautiful thing about investing into yourself is that you're going to have that forever. Any knowledge and wisdom that you learn, people that you look up to, books that you read, you know, these things are things that you're going to keep with you forever, and they're going to help you make money in the future. They're going to help you make smart investments. They're going to help you meet people. They're going to help you make money in real estate and help you make money in the stock market, help you make money anytime you go to invest in just about anything. So while you're investing into yourself, what you can then do is you can go ahead and earn your way to the second or the third position that I was just talking about, right? You can go ahead and save a little bit more money. You can go ahead and create an emergency fund. You can get a savings account. I would recommend a high interest savings account, okay? And I talk a lot about that kind of stuff on my channel. And then at the right time, when you have the knowledge and wisdom and you've got money put aside, and maybe you even go get a side hustle, okay, to make a little bit of additional money, then you can go ahead and you can take your money and you can invest it. And at the end of the day, at that point in time, you're not going to be able to basically like go back to ground zero, right? Because you have money put aside. So, you know, worst case scenario, you lose a little bit of money in an investment and it isn't going to make it or break it for you, right? You're going to ultimately, hopefully, if you do it right, end up in a good situation regardless. So what I would do right here is I would start a side hustle also, just while we're on the topic real quick, that doesn't cost a lot of money to get started with. I would figure out a skill that you have or a need that other people have around you, and I would go ahead and provide value through some sort of service, okay? You can get really creative here, and there's a lot of different side hustles that people are talking about right now. I know couch flipping is really big right now. I know flipping items is really big. Obviously, you got like Pokemon cards. I mean, there's all of these different things. I know people that flip cars. I know people that flip motorcycles, okay? But what I would recommend is that you get a side hustle that doesn't cost much money. So you can take your money and you can continue to save it while you're investing in yourself, while you're creating an additional stream of income through a side hustle. So we're just gonna go ahead and keep on going, and we're gonna jump right into number 2, okay? If you fall into the second category of what I mentioned above a little while ago, and that is going to be that you have $1,000 and you're ready to rock and roll. You've already got a little bit of money put aside. You're not quite to number 3 yet, but you're definitely better off than number 1. This category is for somebody who has $1,000 and they just wanna continue to grow that investment, okay? They're not really necessarily looking to make a ton of money. They're not looking to make money immediately. This isn't money that they're gonna be living off of by any means. You have a steady income probably. You're working a 9-to-5 job. You've got another stream of income, maybe even multiple streams of income, and you just wanna grow an investment over time. So this is one of those kind of weird middle ground scenarios where, in my opinion, there's a lot of different directions you can go here. And I know there's a lot of people giving advice here, so I just wanna be very clear. You know, you could go and do kind of what we talked about in number 1, right? You could go the side hustle route, and you could maybe pick a side hustle that costs a little bit more money, right? For example, you know, in order to get into like couch flipping or flipping items or flipping motorcycles or cars or whatever the case is, you obviously have to buy the item, right? And then you got to sell the item. So you need a little bit of money to get started, okay? So you could go do something like that on the side, and you could definitely make probably $1,000 a week, okay? Maybe even a little bit more. I definitely see people doing that with a lot of the different side hustles that people are talking about on YouTube right now. I see it firsthand, and it's no joke. It can definitely work, okay? But there are a few other options that you can go here as well. Obviously, again, you can go invest into yourself. You can always go, like the other day, for example, I bought Graham Stephan's YouTube course. I bought Andre Jeek's YouTube course, okay? Now, I know these guys personally. I know Graham personally. I don't know Andre, but Andre and Graham are good buddies, and you know, I just knew that I had to put my money where my mouth was because I wanted to grow on YouTube. So even me, I'm still investing in myself. So that's definitely something that you could do, okay? But really, another couple of alternatives that you could go is you could do some more traditional investments, okay? You could invest into the stock market, right? You could buy a good ETF, right? An S&P 500 ETF, an ETF basically that tracks the S&P 500. And you can't go wrong there, right? Because you're gonna make money over the long run. You could even invest into real estate. And a lot of people are like, Austin, well, how do you invest into real estate with $1,000? Well, there's a couple of different directions you can go. You could either wholesale real estate, okay, which I talk about a lot on my channel, where you're not actually having to buy the house, you're just flipping the contract, or you could invest into a good REIT, okay? For example, I've been investing into Fundrise, and I started investing into Fundrise just so I can make some YouTube videos on it, okay? I'll show you my investment as of right now, but I haven't made a ton of money, okay? But the minimum investment there is only $500. So you could go ahead and you could start investing over there, and you could make money, okay, by investing into real estate. So it really just depends on what direction you want to go, right? And ultimately, I would encourage you to just really do your due diligence, do your homework. You know, any investment obviously carries a little bit of a risk, and you should always definitely consider that, right? You should consult with anybody you need to consult with. Definitely don't take my advice, okay? This is just what I would do if I was investing $1,000. The last couple of things you could do in the second category with your $1,000, you could invest into a skill that will eventually make you more money, okay? That is a really good one. I love that one. So it's kind of like a side hustle, but you know, there are certain side hustles where you don't really need to know a whole lot about a whole lot. Like flipping a couch is pretty simple, right? You buy low and you sell high, okay? In a nutshell, okay? But there are certain things out there that you have to actually obtain a particular skill in order to succeed, right? So you could take your $1,000 and you could go invest into a skill, okay? For example, there was a time and a place where I really wanted to get good at photography and videography for making YouTube videos and stuff like that, and I highly considered going and taking photography and videographer classes, okay? And editing classes and stuff like that, right? And there's so many different things out there in today's day and age that you can invest in to learn a skill, okay? I'm not sponsored. This video is not sponsored in any way, shape, or form, but I do know that there's platforms like Skillshare, Teachable. There's all these different platforms that will teach you different skills. And one of the final ways in category number 2 is obviously just to take that money and, obviously invest in yourself, do whatever else we talked about, but just start to save, build your emergency fund. Put your money in a high interest savings account because you always need a good emergency fund. It doesn't matter how much money you have, right? Even me, anybody, okay? Anybody that is big into real estate or the stock market, Graham Stephan, anybody that you talk to has liquid cash sitting in a bank account somewhere in case, for whatever crazy reason, stuff were to hit the fan, right? We saw what happened, obviously, in 2020, and what a crazy year, right? Nobody could have ever thought in a million years that a lot of that would have happened. So you always want to make sure you have an emergency fund, you have a little bit of savings that is liquid, right? Money that you could literally go pull out whenever you need it, and you could pay for your bills. If you fall into category number 3, what I would really recommend that you do, you have an emergency fund, right? You're not reliant on the $1,000. You're not reliant, even maybe it is a little bit more money. Maybe it's a couple thousand, maybe it's 5 or 10,000, whatever it is. You're not reliant on that money. You're fully aware that you're taking a risk by investing. What I would really recommend to anybody, especially moving forward, I've just seen a lot of crazy things in my life. I would really recommend that you diversify, okay? Don't put all of your eggs in one basket. I see so many people where they own all this Bitcoin and whatever the case is. And, the reality of it is, if you have 90% of your money in Bitcoin, and Bitcoin dies, you just lost 90% of your money, okay? No bueno. So what I would do is I would really diversify your money. So maybe you put a little bit into Bitcoin, a little bit into Litecoin, a little bit into Ethereum. Maybe you put a little bit of money into the stock market. Maybe you put a little bit of money into ETFs that track the S&P 500. Maybe you put a little bit of money into a couple of stocks that, have high potential, but they're a little bit higher risk. Maybe you put a little bit of money into good stocks or good ETFs that have a high dividend yield so you can make dividend income. Maybe you take a little bit of money and you invest it into yourself. Maybe you take a little bit of money and you invest it into real estate, or you invest it into a good REIT, okay? There are a lot of different things, obviously, that you can invest in. There's so many more that I'm not even talking about. A lot of the big ones lately that I've been seeing are Walmart automation, Amazon automation. Obviously, that's a little bit bigger of an investment. But again, there's a lot of things that you can invest in, and they're all good, right? In theory, they're all good investments, but I just see so many people that put all of their money in one basket, and I'm like, gosh, that is not smart, right? You look at the people that really have a lot of money in America. You look at Graham Stephan did an interview with Kevin O'Leary, and Kevin O'Leary was literally pointing out how Graham had a lot of money in real estate, right? And now Graham literally has made a video, okay, how he's talking about how he's not gonna buy real estate for a while, and instead he's gonna buy more stocks. He's gonna invest more money into the stock market because he realized that like 90% of his wealth was in real estate, okay? So again, you want to just make sure that you're diversified. Now, it is never going to be perfect, okay? In my opinion, at least, it is never going to be perfect, but at least do your very best to diversify, to put your money in multiple different places. And that way, if any given sector of the market is down, you'd assume, okay, and Ray Dalio talks a lot about this, but you'd assume that another sector of the market is going to be up. If real estate's down, in theory, maybe the stock market is up, or even more granular, if the energy industry is down, healthcare is potentially up, right? Or if the oil industry is down, electric vehicles, EVs are up, okay? So again, I'm talking all in theory here. I'm really not giving you investment advice. I'm just talking about what I would do if it were me. I would diversify. That way, over the long haul, I could build actual wealth, right? I could actually retire off of these investments, and you can start with $1,000, okay? So don't be one of those people that's like, oh, I gotta wait till I have 20 grand or 30 grand or 40 or 50 or 100 or $1 million to invest. No, everybody starts somewhere, okay? I promise, everybody starts somewhere, so don't be one of those people. If you're still watching at the end of the video, I really appreciate you. It means the world to me that you stayed throughout the entire video, so definitely please do me a favor and not only smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm, but drop in the comments section down below what you're gonna be investing in 2021, and maybe down in the comments section we can give a bunch of people a bunch of advice, and we can help each other out, and we can kind of learn what is working, what isn't working, and we can figure out what everybody's investing in. Thank you so much for watching my video. Again, my name is Zaback. I'm typically talking talking about business, about finance, about real estate, how to make money, how to save your money, how to invest your money, okay? Again, always go do all of your own homework. Don't take my advice. Do your homework, do your due diligence, and have fun out there investing. Never invest what you can't afford to lose. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.